Can we get real for a moment? One of the hardest things we encounter as young Christians is sexual temptation. Sex itself is not bad, and neither is the desire for it. But how we handle it determines if it becomes evil or not. Maybe you've promised yourself never to go back, but you unfortunately keep falling back. You get so fed up and give up on yourself, wondering how long you'll keep asking for forgiveness for the same sin. If this is you, just know you are not alone. Remaining chaste feels quite difficult, especially in this generation where sex has become so casual. It is trivialized and made to look inconsequential. It is promoted in our music, movies, dressing, and social media. As a matter of fact, lust and pornography are highly promoted these days, making it attractive for a while, but leaving you empty and filled with guilt later on. It is easy to get carried away, but as Christians cautioned by Scripture not to conform to the standards of this world, but to be transformed by the renewal of our minds, we know that sex outside marriage is a big no. We've spoken quite on the prominence of sexual sin in our generation. Now, let's move on to ways by which we can combat this situation. The first step to solving a problem is to acknowledge that there is a problem. This simply means accepting that we have a problem, whether or not it is manifested in the form of lust, pornography, or even from pressure in our relationships. There is no need sugarcoating what's already a bitter situation. So, what do we do after acknowledging there is a problem? We pay heed to what triggers the problem. Recognizing triggers are so important because we can get to stop the temptation even before it happens. Some are triggered by late night tech, being alone with someone we are attracted to, listening to certain types of music, the content we feed ourselves, and even sometimes from idleness and being lonely. Once triggers have been identified, the next step would be to create boundaries. If scrolling or texting at night sets you off on the wrong path, cut off your time limit for your phone. If being alone with someone compromises your values, avoid meeting alone but in public spaces. Listen to music that aligns with your faith. Feed yourself with faith-based content and avoid any compromises. We are cautioned in 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 18 to flee from sexual temptation, not to attempt to fight it off by walking into it. Here is when to lean onto God's strength. The truth is, our willpower wears out. It fails us. But God's strength never fails. It's constant and helps until the very end. And also, don't isolate yourself. Find Christian friends and mentors. Commune and open up to them. Healing comes in fellowship. The Bible assures us that whatever temptation we face isn't peculiar to us, and we will not be tested beyond our capabilities. Take this. Your desire for sex isn't bad. It is nothing to be ashamed of. God was not trying to punish us when He created in us a desire and then permitted it only within the confines of marriage. No, He designed intimacy to be sacred and in the covenant of marriage. Think of Joseph. He was as young and as youthful as you and I, yet he refused to lay with his master's wife. That is self-control, and you and I can master it too. Let me ask you, what's one trigger you need to avoid? Think about it, pray, and take the first step.